It's a very complicated, very contentious issue. Of course, Douglas County has made threats to pull away from Tri-County Board of Health before. And it only took about 30 minutes for the lawsuit that these 7 Denver police officers filed against the city over the vaccine mandate to be dismissed. The update that Denver police gave us at 3 a.m., which was the latest one we got, they said an officer was shot in the leg and then taken to the hospital in critical condition. Now, there is still a scene out here despite a tweet sent from Denver police Twitter account just a few minutes ago. So take a look. There's still an active scene out here.
Cmoore just arrived at that scene. Carly, what can you tell us at this point?
Good morning, Evan. Well, what we know right now is that Denver police are asking for the public's help. They're trying to piece together all of what happened out here. I'm here off 20th and Market Street, where you can see the police presence here. And that sign says, "Welcome to Denver." Obviously, the All-Star game just a few days ago. But now you can see this parking lot where a lot of people probably parked while they were visiting Cmoore Field. Of course, we're just a block away here. Now sits blue triangles. Those appear to be evidence markers out here. I know a lot of us are saying, you know, it's pretty rare. I talked to a neighbor who says he's never seen a bear in this Littleton suburb so far, but I'm going to bring in an expert on the situation, Jason Clay. He's here with Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and unfortunately you were the one responding this morning and loaded the bear up into the truck. The key word here is attempted escape. The teen housed here did not end up escaping. Staff were able to take him down. We are just learning information after speaking to the Aurora Chief of Police. She's saying that that suspect is now facing at least 7 charges of attempted murder on those officers. Take a look out here. This is new crime tape, but back there you can see the apartment where the suspect was in, that Bearcat getting stuck and then having to initially ram that apartment, trying to make contact with the suspect. The fire investigators just pulled up, so it doesn't seem like we have any word about a cause yet. So tell me what their next steps are.
Their next step is to go through.
I think residents will have a lot to say about that, don't you, Carly?
Yeah, definitely, Chris. And it's decriminalizing sex work in the case of human trafficking. So there is a stipulation there, but obviously raising some questions as far as some of those other recommendations in that report. You can see here just a growing memorial along here, dedication of this ghost bike in honor of her last ride, now sits here covered in flowers. We spoke to her husband who was with her when she was hit, and he says one ghost bike like this, one too many. They're still pouring water into this building. Unfortunately, they've been doing it for hours. They're having a little bit of a challenge doing so. The building says Palumbo's Farms Market, but it's actually an old sign. The building under new management. Hall of Fame Enshrinement Week isn't just for fans of football, but it's also for fans of fashion, and they got their fix too.
Carly, I have to ask, would you cannonball? Not right now, obviously, but are you a cannonballer when you get in the pool?
Oh, no, I go in gradually.
We say you pick any place you want to fly and Ken will pay for it. So you pick, look at the, there you go.
I was lost in the world before I got pregnant with him, and once I had my son, my life changed.
A call at 4 o'clock Sunday morning changed her life again.
Somebody just took my baby from me. Somebody took my baby.
Lakeisha Newell rushed over to 20th and Market in downtown Denver to learn that her son and his 2 brothers had been in a shooting around 2:45 a.m.
Somebody murdered my son.
She tells us the other 2 teens were sent to the hospital, but her son didn't make it.
My son's been out here for hours by himself.
Lakeisha doesn't want this crime tape and police lights to be the end of his story.
My son is. He's not a was. He's 23.
She said the 23-year-old was her best friend.
So cool, laid back. He was funny. He was antagonistic. He could be annoying. He was a father. He's my oldest son.
Now this mother making a passionate plea.
You could talk to me, and if you know something, just say it. Just tell me. Tell me what happened to my son.
Family members say it's a tough time, but they will get through it together.
We're going to do everything in our power to move forward, but this isn't going to be easy, right? We lost a big chunk of our family today.
In Denver, I'm Carly Moore.
Hi.
The first thing you see is Tessie Smith's smile. The next might be her confidence.
Where you hold your head up high and you're empowered and you're exhilarated.
Take just a few more minutes and you'll find this female is full of fight.
Here we go.
Tessie is tough. Still, there are situations that make her feel small.
It makes you shrink. You want to shrink inside yourself.
Like the news about a peeping Tom in her town.
When they were approached by the family, the person hopped on a bicycle and pedaled away. Also fired their handgun.
A crime that often escalates.
The act itself may seem that it's not dangerous because the person's just looking, but that is far from the truth.
Fort Collins Police Chief doesn't recommend you confront a peeper, but they could confront you.
You know, we think we're at our best when we're helping people protect themselves.
It's invaluable. Absolutely.
Tessie is not the only one who can't put a price on this knowledge.
Good job, Brandy.
I'm getting goosebumps when I'm trying to think of what to say right now.
Each punch is empowering.
Brandy, push hard.
So they made me feel like family, and the other half was just wanting to be a really tough chick who could take care of myself.
These women work together in the gym so that when they step out into the real world, their strength will shine. In Fort Collins, I'm Cmoore. From the outside looking in, you see a typical Sunday afternoon race relay at Echo Park Stadium in Parker. But what you don't see is the stories that got them here.
October 19th, I was riding my motorcycle. A guy wasn't paying attention, hit me head on. It was pretty brutal.
Stevie Crawford had to make a choice on whether to endure 2 to 3 years of surgeries, but probably not be able to skate or snowboard again, or have his leg amputated and have a chance at returning to normal with a prosthetic.
I decided, like, what's the point of keeping it if I can't use it? So it was a better option for me to amputate my leg, and it was honestly the best decision I ever made.
Other members of this community might not have chosen this path.
So we want to bring them out and show them what's possible, right? That life's not necessarily over. It's just going to be a little different.
But they did choose to make their way onto the track and be a team player.
It's just really a day of building community also. Let them to get around their peers to be able to talk through what's going on in their life.
Here, these survivors of limb loss and limb difference can learn about new technologies and resources. But what Stevie enjoys most is the stories.
It's a good opportunity to meet other people and kind of share our stories, and a really good source of inspiration and motivation.
Athletes of all ages.
The kids, like, especially a lot of the youngsters, don't know a difference, you know, and it does not affect their mentality or their outlook on life.
Taking on the turf.
It means the world to me. Like, it's awesome.
Showing that their future is not limited by their past. In Parker, I'm Cmoore. A busy shopping center parking lot, not the ideal place to commit a crime.
It's just rampant here, and I'm really concerned.
Laura's catalytic converter was stolen in broad daylight. The thieves undeterred, but they didn't go undetected.
A supervisor came in, said, "You have the Honda CR-V, right?" I said, "Yes, why?" She said, "Well, I just saw some people around your car and a girl underneath it, and I called the cops."
It happened while she was working at the TJ Maxx off First and Wadsworth in Lakewood.
Went out to my car, turned it on. It sounds like a semi-truck. The fumes come in under the floorboard, and it was stolen.
And with no insurance on her 22-year-old CR-V, she's left paying out of pocket.
I'd been researching catalytic converter covers, believe it or not, and I wish I had done it now, because then it would have only been a couple $100 instead of $1,800.
$1,800 was the tab to replace her catalytic converter and bolt a cover over the top.
Get a shield right away, because they're going to go to an easier target. They're not going to want to spend time taking it apart.
Laura's not alone in this, though. Cat thefts are on the rise, and Lakewood police say this year compared to last year, reports have more than doubled.
They can't possibly be cruising around all the parking lots in people's homes.
Laura says part of the problem is you could trade one of these things for anywhere between $800 and $3,000. She thinks the scrapyards who pay the criminals should be held accountable.
There needs to be legislation about these scrapyards. They need to make it a charge to accept these things, because if they were held liable for taking stolen property, then they would be shut down or they couldn't do it anymore, because that's where they're taking it to get their money. So start there.
In Lakewood, I'm Cmoore. Parent or professional.
You're not stuck to one thing.
It's a choice these women say they shouldn't have to make.
Where there are thousands of young girls watching you, I don't think it's sending the right message to young ladies that you can't do both.
A small demonstration hoping to make a big impact.
I'm just so amazed and overwhelmed by the support.
The sign says, "I'm a contraband baby. Ask my mom why."
It makes you feel like a criminal because you have a baby with you, so your baby is the contraband.
This after a coach and owner of a Utah girls volleyball team is denied access into the tournament 2 days in a row because she had her baby with her. And she wasn't the only mom turned away.
It sucks because we had her all season, and it just kind of hurt to see her be refused because she has a baby and she chose to be a mom and a coach.
Her team taking a stand too, with stuffed animals.
To symbolize we can all be moms one day, and we need to show we can have a real job and be a mom too.
Though the congratulations had to take place outside.
As a coach, you can only hope that you have that kind of impact on your kids. We're not just here to teach them volleyball. We're here to teach them how to be good people and how to not just follow the crowd, and how sometimes it's difficult to stand up and do the right thing.
This pack celebrates a win on the volleyball court and for each other.
I'm just so proud that they are able to see the bigger part of this and how much it means, and for their futures knowing what it means to stand up for what's right and what they should be entitled to do.
1, 2, 3, in Denver, I'm Cmoore.
Memorial Day of 2003 is when I met Gwen and knew then that she was a special gal.
A husband's heart now has a hole.
Being like Gwen is being selfless and taking everybody else's needs over your own.
Mike Inglis was riding behind his wife Gwen when she was hit and killed by a car along Alameda near Green Mountain.
The side of the road, those were not good moments, to say the least.
There's no way to prepare for a loss like this, but Mike was probably as prepared as it gets.
Went through Air Force pararescue school, and so I'm a skydiving, scuba diving paramedic.
Hugs after heartbreak, support being shared by friends, family, and even strangers.
You could just feel the love when she talked about you guys, when she raced with you guys.
Next to a bike painted white, a ghostly reminder of a cyclist's final ride.
I'm fed up with ghost bikes. Every time I go out for a ride, I feel like I'm taking my life in my hands.
An emergency physician and cyclist who didn't know Gwen says one more ghost bike is one too many.
We're parents, we're children, we're husbands, we're wives.
Mike says he'll keep riding, even though now his tandem bike has an empty seat.
And it only takes one individual to change and devastate everybody's lives.